G'day guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So recently Crucial sent out their T700 Gen 5 SSD. We've done a review on it already, link up in the corner if you haven't seen it, but they also sent out a 32GB kit of their DDR5 Pro memory, and I was trying to come up with a way to, I guess, properly demonstrate the efficiency and performance of that memory compared to DDR4. And so I thought, what better way to do that than to give myself a bit of an upgrade? So we went from AMD AM4 to now AM5. My old platform was an AMD 5900X CPU, so 12 cores and 24 threads on a B550-A gaming motherboard from ASUS with 32GB of RAM at 3600 MHz from Pinnacle. Now on paper, that's a really strong performing combo. I think I paid about $1,400 for that combo about 2 years ago. Fast forward to today, I'm now using a 7800X 3D, which has less cores and threads, so 8 cores, 16 threads on a N7 B650E motherboard from NZXT, but paired up with that Crucial Pro memory, 32GB at 5600 megatransfers now. And on paper, it actually looks like maybe not as strong, like less performance on those cores, but as you'll see in a moment on the graphs and in some of the benchmarks, it actually performs better in some scenarios and really close in others. So as you can see on the graphs at the moment, in Cinebench R23, the 5900X wins in the multi-core by about 5,000 points, but in the single core, it actually loses out to the 7800X 3D because it has a higher boost clock, and single core performance is really important, especially when you're doing just day-to-day tasks or operating inside of applications that are predominantly single-threaded, like just your Windows File Explorer. But then when we get into gaming, like when we run this Call of Duty Warzone benchmark at 1440p at basic settings, you can see here if we circle around, the 7800X 3D absolutely smashes the 5900X, and really the only thing holding it back is maybe my 3080 GPU. But because we've got that CPU paired with DDR5 memory, it actually outperforms the 5900X, which has more cores and threads, with DDR4. Now, the next test that we ran was the AIDA64 cache and memory benchmark, and as you can see here on the screen, DDR5 performs better on the reads by about 4,000 megabytes a second, on the writes about 18,000 megabytes a second, which is crazy, and then about 8,000 megabytes a second better on the copy. The latency is a little bit slower than the DDR4 at 84 nanoseconds versus 69 nanoseconds, which is negligible, but that's more to do with the fact that DDR4 has tighter latency, so 18:22:22 versus 46:44:44. But overall, if you're someone who is handling big amounts of data within programs like maybe Premiere Pro or maybe some other scientific applications, having DDR5 memory is definitely going to be a huge advantage for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, the last test that we ran was from 3D Mark. We ran the TimeSpy benchmark, and as you can see on the screen, with a 5900X paired up with DDR4 memory and an RTX 3080, we got a score of 16,908. And then running the same test again with the 7800X 3D, but paired with DDR5 and a 3080, same graphic card, we got a score of 16,785, which is about 120 points less. And I think considering the fact that the CPU is putting out less heat, it's got less cores and threads, that's still a really good score, and I think that's helped along because of obviously that huge L3 cache, but because we've got huge amounts of memory bandwidth with DDR5. Now, something that I want to talk about that you can't really graph is stability and setup and ease of use and how many crashes has there been and all that kind of stuff. So for me, my last 2 months using this RAM has been absolutely flawless, to be honest with you guys. Getting the RAM installed, everything booted up basically first go, getting the AMD Expo profile enabled was fine, didn't have any issues with that at all, and using the RAM has been a pretty smooth experience. So if you are looking at this RAM and worried about stability, from my own experience anyway, it's been absolutely fine, and I wouldn't have any issue recommending it to you guys who are looking at this RAM for your next PC build. Now, in terms of design and aesthetics, I personally like the matte black PCB and the matte black heat spreader that goes across this memory module to make it look really premium and quite stealth, and I think in any system it will actually slot in really nicely. For the price of this RAM, you can pick it up for about $190 Australian, and whilst the timings of the RAM might not be as low as some other memory kits that are out there, I think that maybe the reason why Crucial's gone this direction and maybe not tried to be super aggressive on the timings is so they can have better stability and compatibility between Intel and AMD, making sure that everyone is just going to have a really seamless plug and play experience. So like I said before, would I actually recommend this RAM? 100%. It's been easy to use, easy to set up, easy to get the profiles enabled. I haven't had any crashes. It looks really nice and I think the price is quite fair. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you have any comments or questions about the RAM or anything else that I've talked about, links will be down in the video description, but feel free to drop a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.